in that sector. So thank you so much to connect for all us.
Uh, very good morning to everyone. So I'm Dinesh. I'm having an experience of around 13 to 14 years in the analytics and consulting. I have been part of some of the consulting companies in India, which has been doing a great job into this. Just a thing like this is one of the sector which is very much unknown to the people who are being doing like B Farm, M Farm, degree in science or the BDS. And this is one of the booming sector like other sectors like pharmacovigilance, pharmacoeconomics, other sectors too. So this sector uh, needs some of the skills like logical skills, reasoning skills, or the some of the numerical skill of the people. And this is one of the thing which has not been part of syllabus anywhere in the country. Maybe in if you talk about the MBAs also, this analytics is not part of the syllabus. Even M Farm and B Farm or any of the life sciences degree, this is not covered, which is a huge sector right now. So, what is business analytics and consulting? It is a sector which helps different healthcare stakeholders, maybe pharmaceutical companies, healthcare providers like insurance companies. All this sector helps them to solve their business problem, right? To support them in their day-to-day practices. Like this sector has lot of data coming from pharmaceutical industry, sales data, promotional data, patient level data. Insurance companies also have all these level data. So these uh, data, what to do with data? Something has to be done with this data so that they provide accurate insights, which helps the company to get strategy, help them to get into making the strategy very strong, right? So and this is one of the industry which helps the US and European stakeholders more, like pharmaceutical companies, healthcare companies, rather than supporting in India, because in India we don't have such huge data to analyze. So this analytics and consulting uh, includes course subjects like forecasting. It includes like sales force effectiveness. It includes like competitive intelligence. It includes like business analytics, where you make different like different tools, dashboards. Now the tools and dashboards are made on the cloud based. It is on the iPhones and also various types of dashboard you make, which helps the different stakeholders in on the regular basis to be updated with their product, their market, and all these things. So this is one of the industry growing. Let me share you some slides once. So So briefly talking about what is analytics, it's like prescriptive analytics, like enabling smart decision based on data. What should we do right now? Then descriptive analytics is like mining the data, what has to be done. And the predictive analytics is defining the future for this. So and then the comes like big data analytics. Now what is happening in US, lots of data is being generated to reimbursement companies, healthcare agencies, pharmaceutical companies. So what to do with those data? So it helps in we we sitting in India or in the US or Europe, uh, to analyze this data with respect to lots of taking help of the technologies like maybe R, Python, MS Excel, SAS, and we use a lot of tools to analyze this data so that we get insights from these data. So this is the big data analytics being used in healthcare and pharmaceutical industry right now. And you would be seeing that there are a lot of courses. If you go to the like various portals like Udemy and all, they have the data analytics courses, which says that they have advanced data analytic courses. But those courses are very raw, right? So they are not dedicated to any vertical. Suppose if you are coming from M Pharma background, BDS background, MBBS background, these courses when you learn, it has to be dedicated to one of the vertical. It cannot be simple a course, right? Because then understanding of domain is very important in this thing. Because if you don't understand the domain part, you cannot do anything with the data, because data will speak the language, what language you want to speak, right? And if you don't know the domain language, data will not speak anything. It has to be alignment of data and domain thinking. So that's why uh, when I go a lot of colleges also, so there also I try to contribute in the similar way, like here I am contributing to bridge the gap between the academia and the analytics and consulting industry in the pharma, right? You need, people are going for different courses, but I suggest you go for a course which is, or you, if you go for a course or you learn yourself, that you understand the domain plus the data, because single thing will not going to help you. Now, if you see this, it tells you how does the demand for analytics professionals in India. Like, if you see uh, in 2019, it will be 250,000 people required in analytics in India. And this uh, industry pays you well, right? But it asks you lot of skills too. So this is the industry which pays you well, taking your skills. This is a knowledge industry. We all are in the knowledge industry. Take and name any of the courses. So right, this industry gives you a lot of challenges, lot of scope to grow, maybe in India and US, and it helps you to take your career ahead, right? And the key recruiters in this area are like one of some of the big pharmaceutical companies of US. They are opening offices, which helps them the at the US and the European level to do the analytics. Like Novartis has office in Hyderabad, Lilly has office in Bangalore, uh, and then Equia has a 2 3 centers like maybe Gurgaon, Bangalore, even Mumbai. They have an offices. Monk has an office in Pune. Janssen has office in Bangalore. Cognizant is into too much of this healthcare analytics. So you see there are a lot of multinational companies, consulting companies, uh, and even the pharmaceutical companies having their centers in India to get you jobs. So only thing is that you study the right things, right data, and come up with the uh, concepts which helps you to get. Now the question is that whether the industry will take you or not. So if this industry can take freshers from the different colleges doing the placement, why can't you? You will have an edge if you learn something basics about this industry, like forecasting, what even basics also. If you get into that, you can be a key uh, recruiter of these companies. So basically, time is very less. So whenever I come across a complete uh, the thing about this course, I'll get into that. But what we learn here is like, um, I'll just show you. Analytics we do, like we do competitive intelligence, we do health economic outcome research, we do big data analytics. So these are the some of the subjects we learned into this industry. And then we will be then the cleaning minds cover like R, Python, and advanced Excel into this, so that it helps you to get how to analyze the data, what to do with the data. So lots of things are covered by the course Clini minds have. So my idea always had been to associate it with these like training institutes, like to help the students. Uh, Students have to student understand what is the gap between this, and also this is the only idea. I go to different colleges, contribute myself into this way, right? So Clinimind has a very good trainers also, set of trainers into this industry. They bring people from there. But today, the objective I joined this session was to get you aware about this course, because I have been into this industry and I have seen that there is a gap. People don't even understand this course what it is. So awareness is not. So my objective to get into these types of webinars and all is to get aware you people, right? Whenever I get chance to speak in any forum like colleges and all, my only objective is that you at least you get aware of these courses. And from wherever you want to do, you are okay. But just awareness, my objective is to get you aware of these courses, and to see that where this industry is moving. You can read more on different uh, platforms about this industry. So this was the a small brief about this course. So by end of this session, if you have any questions, we can uh, uh, do that there. Yeah. So Rajat, you can take from here.
So next session would be, I would request Dr. Vipra to start with that session.
Hello. Vinay, could you please confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, Vipra ma'am, you are audible. You are audible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Good morning, all of you who are present here, who has joined for the session today. And thank you, Dinesh sir, for briefing all of us on the analytics and the most importantly the career prospects, because this was actually a very new domain and a new emerging industry. Moving forward, I would be briefing all of you on the slightly on what clinical research, clinical data management is, and career prospects. Before that, I just want to add, as Rajat said, that yes, I do have experience in clinical trials, and through my experience, I would definitely say that this is one of the career prospects where you can expect that there would be tremendous growth, because currently sitting and seeing, like from the past 1 year, everyone is observing. It's not that we are listening, but we all are observing and experiencing what this pandemic has taught us. And in this meantime, we are also able to understand that what the role of the research industry is. So I do have experience in clinical trials because I got to work in the trial industry for the past 7 years, and then after that I joined Clinaminds, and since past 5 years I am working with Clinaminds, training a lot of students, and the students are successfully being placed in the industry. So yes, definitely it's an emerging industry. uh, Regarding clinical trials, all of us who are present here very well understand that any new medication, any new drug cannot be brought into the market until and unless it is tested. Otherwise, I think as soon as we had this pandemic, we would have had a vaccine, or we would have had some kind of medication. But it has already taken 1 year, and we don't know how long exactly it would be. So it's an industry which requires rigorous testing, rigorous experimentation before any vaccine, before any device or any drug rather is brought into the market to the public domain. So before I start, let me share my presentation. I hope the presentation is visible to all of you. So basically, what is clinical trials? Clinical trials is basically any kind of investigation, any kind of experiment, any kind of exploration that we do on the human subjects using a product which is new, which is not tested, or which might have been tested, but we don't have sufficient data available on that particular product on that particular molecule. So this is an industry, this is a domain where investigations are carried out on human subjects, which means the new product, the drug, the molecule is tested on human subjects. And why is it tested? Why is it important to test it? Because we want sufficient information on the safety and the efficacy. I think nobody would like to take a product, nobody would consume a product which is not safe, which has lot of adverse reactions, lot of side effects happening. So a product has to be tested for safety and efficacy. And the industry requires people who have the skill, who have the expertise, who have the knowledge, and who have the training to actually carry out these investigations. So it's not only the medical professionals, it's not only the doctors who are involved in this industry, it actually needs people who have the scientific knowledge. So it is the pharma industry, it is biotechnology students, it is any other graduates, postgraduates who have had a scientific knowledge, who have had a scientific training to be a part of this industry. So this is basically the need of the hour. Now, any clinical trial, any clinical investigation really taken forward, it is moved to the next stage until and unless we have sufficient information available from the animal studies. So until and unless we have data from the animal studies, we cannot move to the human trials. We cannot carry out the investigation on the human subjects. And it also needs regulatory and the ethical approval. So any country's regulatory authority would need to approve that yes, the data is sufficient enough and now we can carry out the investigations on the human subject. So all that needs to be fulfilled before any clinical trial is undertaken. Now, the terminologies associated are experimental unit, intervention, and evaluation, which means you need patients, you need subjects, you need a product, that is your intervention, and you need to evaluate that product for safety and efficacy. The entire process, if you have a look, it takes around 12 to 15 years. So any clinical trial moves from the drug discovery stage, then the preclinical studies, which means the studies which are done on animal models in the laboratory conditions, and then eventually it moves from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then later on to phase 4. So phase 4 is the stage where actually the drug would be available for use, and it's known as the post-marketing studies. So you can see how long we need to wait. Yes, for certain conditions like the one we are experiencing, you will be having expedited approvals, you will be having expedited process, and because there is an urgent need for the medication. But as a normal, as a routine procedure, it takes around 12 to 15 years. Along with this, why training is important? Because the industry is governed by regulations. There are a lot of regulations. Today in the session, I would not go into deep into what the regulations are, because that's actually a very lengthy portion to be covered. But yes, there are a lot of regulations which ensures that any drug which is being tested, any medication which is being tested is safe enough to be given to human subjects. It is done in an ethical manner. There is no violation of the patient rights. There is no violation of any ethical norms or the regulations. Along with this, the documentation part is very important. So you will see that in the research industry, we have a lot of job roles where there is need for people who have an understanding on documentation. And it's not only the paper documents that we are talking about. We are talking about the paper documents as well as the electronic documents. The documents which are, or the softwares which are used in the, both in the clinical research and in the clinical data management industry. Because currently we know that we all are remotely working, so obviously the data has to be collected, the data has to be evaluated in the form of softwares. Apart from this, softwares do also help us to uh, get more error-free data, to get speedy data, to analyze the data in a more efficient manner. So regulations also focuses on documentation, and the industry needs people who are having a knowledge, who have an understanding on the different softwares and the different other modes like the PowerPoints, the Excel knowledge, all this is also needed. So through our training, we provide all this knowledge, like how to work on different softwares, how to use Excels more efficiently. In addition to this, there has been a lot of changes in the regulations, which is also a part of the curriculum to make you aware about all the upcoming changes, all the recent changes which has taken place in the Indian as well as in the global regulations. This is a glimpse of all the regulations which are being currently followed. Like we have the international guidelines in the form of ICH GCP. We have our own Indian regulations, which is in the form of new drug and clinical trial rules. Schedule Y was being used earlier, but now Schedule Y has been replaced by the NDCTR. Then we have the USA regulations, which is considered to be the gold standard regulations. In the USA regulations, since it's not only limited to Indian trials, any person who is associated with the clinical trial or with the clinical data management industry will not only work for Indian studies. You might be working in global studies where you might have the sponsor from USA or from any other country. So you need to also have an understanding on the other global regulations. So US FDA regulation understanding is one of the integral parts. Apart from this, there are again regulations pertaining to the consenting of the patients, the your electronic records, then how these applications are submitted to the regulatory authority in the form of IND and NDA, what exactly is a part of the applications which are submitted, what data has to be submitted. So everything is covered in the program itself, so that once you enter the industry or once you are going for an interview, you are job ready, and once you enter the industry, you are actually ready to work on live projects. To give you a glimpse on the people who are associated with the clinical trial industry. So it's the investigators, basically the medical professionals who are working at the trial sites, who have one of the most important roles, because they are the people who recruit the patients, who enroll the patients, and who administer the product. Then you have the patients, because in the absence of patients, obviously we would not be able to do any clinical trial. Then the sponsors, the pharmaceutical companies who provides funds, because the entire research process requires a lot of funding, lot of finances. The ethics committee, which is responsible for ensuring that clinical trials are being conducted in an ethical manner, where the patient's rights, safety, and well-being is well protected. They are not subjected to any undue force, any undue pressure, or any unethical practices should not be done. So ethics committee uh, on a continuous basis ensures these activities. Then we have the monitors, who are people who constantly would frequently visit the hospitals where the trial is being conducted to ensure that the data, the information which is being collected after the drug has been administered to the patient is accurate data. Because if you administer a product to the patient and the data, the information which is being collected is not accurate, it's incorrect information, the end result would be incorrect. It will be not an accurate information. So monitors do ensure that all the information is being collected in an accurate manner, and the people involved from the trial sites are doing the work properly, they are following the protocol properly. Then we have the final data which is submitted to the regulatory authorities. So as a whole, you can see this is not an individual's task, this is actually a teamwork, and the entire team works together. So everyone who is joined here has a role to play in the clinical research industry. Giving you an idea on the overall process. So, before we start any investigation, we should have a plan in hand, which means we should have protocols ready. Protocols should be approved by the regulatory authority and the ethics committee. Then, eventually, you start recruiting the patients. You start selecting the sites, and the trials are then conducted. And once the trial is conducted, monitoring visits are done to monitor the data, to monitor the information. uh, Along with this process, along with the clinical trial ongoing, you have simultaneously the role of data management. So data management role doesn't come towards the end. It is, you can say, imbibed with the clinical trial process. So as soon as your clinical trial process starts, simultaneously your data management process starts, because data management is from the word itself. Data management is we are managing the data, we are ensuring that the data is correct. So simultaneously we start managing the data, which involves ensuring that there is no query, there is no discrepancy, there is no error in the data. And lastly, once the data has been analyzed and the final results have been collected, the data is submitted to the country's regulatory authority, and it's also published in different scientific publications so that the data remains in the public domain. Now, coming to the role of clinical data management. So, as I said, clinical data management is the process where all the data which is collected during the clinical trials is checked for any errors, for any discrepancies, for its accuracy, for its consistency. And there are a lot of softwares which are used for this purpose, like Oracle Clinical, ClinSoft, Rave, OpenClinica. These are the names of very few softwares which I could jot down here, but it is not limited only to this. There are a lot of other softwares in the industry. The functioning of all the softwares are the same because everything is governed by the regulations. Every software follows 21 CFR Part 11. So what we intend to do here in our training, we train the students on one software, and then once the student enters the industry, they are capable enough to work on any other software which the company is using. So for training purpose, we use the ClinSoft software. Simultaneously, SAS is used for analyzing the data, and the SAS software 9.4 is used for training purpose. This is a glimpse of the curriculum, the syllabus which is followed for the clinical research. So as you can see from the syllabus that is covered, the overall information on what clinical research is, what are the different phases of research, what are the different guidelines like the GCP, good clinical practices, the amendment to the GCP, the Indian regulations, because eventually when we are sitting in India, we need to stick to our Indian regulations. So Indian regulations, we don't only cover the NDCTR, we also uh, uh, include ICMR guidelines, then the global regulations, which means the European and the USA regulations are covered, pharmacology and drug discovery and development, then the different roles and responsibilities of people associated with the research industry. Because the players which have been mentioned here, like the sponsors, investigators, ethics committee, and different vendors, they have a very important role. Then the clinical trial design, protocol design, CRF design. So all of these are covered, and it's actually an extensive syllabus, so that you enter the industry and you have the knowledge, you have the skill set to work upon any kind of project that is handed over to you. We have also included the electronic trial master file, because there is a lot of career opportunities in electronic trial master file in terms of a record specialist or regulatory record specialist, because this is actually the use of software in documentation, in managing all the study files or the master files. And there are a lot of emerging job opportunities in the electronic trial master file. Similarly, when you have the knowledge of the entire site operations, which means the site selection, site initiation, till site closeout, you can fit into the job role of the clinical research coordinators or the study coordinators. So, coming to the data management, briefly, this is the overview of the data management program, where we ensure that you are trained upon the different aspects like data management plan, data entry, how the data entry process is done, what are the common mistakes which people do while data entry, electronic data capture, how the data is logged, how it is unlocked if it is required, how the laboratory data is managed, because laboratory data is also very integral a part of the clinical trial process, audit trail, and the quality assurance. So the focus of the training is obviously ensuring that we at Minds ensure that all the sessions are uniformly covered. The syllabus is uniformly covered, because we have many faculties who take up the sessions. So the syllabus is uniform, so that no matter who is training you, everybody who is providing the training is following that common syllabus, is following that common curriculum. Apart from this, we, as I said, we make you industry ready. So mock interviews are done, regular assessments are carried out, and the sessions are interactive, where we interact with the students through, currently in the pandemic we are doing through online mode, using different platforms. So it's an interactive session which helps us to ensure that the students are also able to understand what is being trained to them. And coming lastly, this is the software which we use for training purpose, that is the Clearsoft. Growth lab in clinical research. So, as I said, for entry, you may enter the industry as a research coordinator or as a study coordinator, or as a research associate. Eventually, you would grow, you would grow to become a CTA, then your job role may be senior CTA, then CRA, CRA level 1, 2, and lastly, eventually, you could also become the project managers. So, what we intend to say here that what is needed is the hard work. What is needed is understanding of the concepts, and learning what is happening in the industry. So that's all from my end. I would now request Mr. Kuldeep Kinja, and any questions we would be taking up towards the end. I would request Mr. Kuldeep uh, to take forward.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Vipra. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Clinimaid's demo session for uh, analytics and clinical research and pharmacovigilance. Just wanted to confirm, am I audible to everyone? Guys, please confirm, am I audible? Yes, okay, thank you. I hope my screen is also visible to all of you. Okay. So again, welcome you all to this session, demo session, and I'm here to talk about the pharmacovigilance. And as Mr. Rajat have already informed that I'm basically a professional in pharmacovigilance with experience of close to 10 years. So pharmacovigilance is a growing field, guys, from last, I would say, last 7 to 8 years. It is in the demand, and in the coming years also, it will be. Because pharmacovigilance is needed for the better drugs that are there in the market, for the safer drugs for the patients. Okay, and some of you might have seen or might have noted that pharmacovigilance is known as post-marketing surveillance, or it's about the drugs which are there in the market, the safety of those drugs. But it's not only about the drugs that are there in the market. So pharmacovigilance is the safety of all the drugs, guys. It may be in the clinical trials or maybe in the post-marketing phase. So pharmacovigilance take care of both. So as for the definition that is given by the WHO, that is World Health Organization, pharmacovigilance is defined as the science and activities relating to the detection, assessment, understanding and prevention of adverse effects or any other drug related problem. So nowhere in this definition it is mentioned that it's in post marketing. So it's about adverse effects, or you can say adverse events, both are same things. So guys, adverse effects means any untoward medical occurrence, anything, any medical occurrence that occurs after the patient have taken any drug. It may be during the clinical trials or it may be after the drug is marketed. Okay, so the study of those adverse effects is known as pharmacovigilance. Now, what are these things? Detection, assessment, understanding and prevention. Detection means basically those adverse effects or adverse events needs to be collected and then collated in a safety database by the company. So the company who is marketing the drug will be collecting all those adverse effects from different sources. Now, those different sources can be from clinical trials, from the patients, from healthcare professionals, from literature cases, from social media and all. So there are different sources from where the company will collect all the adverse events and then enter those adverse events in the safety database. That's the software, you can say. The next term that we have is assessment. Assessment will be done by the company, and it is basically means checking the relationship of the adverse effects with the drug, that those adverse effects are due to the drug or not, because there are reactions which might the patient experience due to some other reasons, not due to the medicine. So to check the relationship between the adverse effect and the drug is called assessment. So that will be done for every adverse effect. Then understanding is basically is analysis, the data uh, that the safety database will have in a particular period, like 6 months or 1 year. Then the statistical analysis will be done, the frequency and other things will be detected and all. And ultimately, the events or the effects related to the drug will be prevented. The actions will be taken to prevent those adverse effects. So this overall activities will termed as pharmacovigilance. And the word pharmacovigilance is a combination of two words, as is pharmaco, that is drug or medicine, and vigilier means to watch or keep awake or alert. So this is what pharmacovigilance is. So, so just wanted to clarify, it's not only about the post-marketing or the drugs that are in the market, study of those. No, it's about the safety of drugs. That's it. If those medicines are in the clinical trial also or in the post-marketing, overall objective of pharmacovigilance is to provide safe drugs to the patients. Now, these are the different, you can say, the processes or that are happening in pharmacovigilance and the people who will do those things and where those processes or those steps will be done. So first of all, reporting, that I told you, the detection and the generation of all the adverse effects. Okay, the report suspected side effects, adverse events, quality concerns and errors to the company. Now who reports it? Doctors, pharmacists, nurse, healthcare professionals, consumers, anybody can report it. And where it will be reported to the manufacturers or to the hospitals and institutions. Then from the hospitals and institutions, it will reach to the manufacturers. Okay. After the adverse events are reported, all the data will be collated and the analysis will be done. And the causality analysis and risk determination, all those things will be done. Causality analysis means, guys, assessment. The other name for assessment is causality assessment. That means the relationship between the drug and the event to check whether the drug is the causative agent of that event or not. So where are these things done? In the pharmacovigilance centers, in the drug and therapeutic committees, safety advisory committees, and who will do it? The medical specialist, clinical pharmacologist, pharmacist, epidemiologist, so all the healthcare professionals who are working on those companies or the pharmacovigilance centers will do these things. After all the analysis and every risk determination, everything is done, and it is identified that this particular event or this particular risk is due to this drug, then the appropriate actions will be taken to prevent or to mitigate that risk associated with the drug. Now, who will take those actions? Who will take those decisions? Regulatory authorities. So every country have their regulatory authorities, guys, who regulate the drugs and the medicines in that country. So those regulatory authority, the industry, health services, and other professional groups will take the decisions and appropriate actions will be taken to control the adverse events or to prevent the adverse events. And if the adverse events cannot be prevented, then the drug can be withdrawn from the market. Market withdrawal, product recall can be done. Now, ultimately, if we prevent the medicine-related problems, then it will reduce the morbidity and mortality. So that is the ultimate objective of pharmacovigilance, all the activities we have to minimize or to prevent all the problems related to the medicine. That's overall steps you can say that are there and different steps in pharmacovigilance. Now, as I told you, there are some regulatory authorities of every country. Now, we have some organizations which are internationally active and which play a key role in the pharmacovigilance. Now, these are internationally active the organizations, the regulatory organizations which are internationally active. That one is World Health Organization, we all know. The other one is International Council for Harmonization of Technical Requirements for Pharmaceuticals for Human Use, that is ICH. Council for International Organizations of Medical Sciences, NIOMS. The International Society of Pharmacovigilance, ISOP. So these are the international organizations. Now let's talk about some local regulatory authorities of different countries. Like in US, we have US FDA, United States Food and Drug Administration. For Europe, we have European Medicine Agency for the EEA countries. For UK, we have Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency in United Kingdom. For Japan, we have PMDA, that is Pharmaceuticals and Medical Device Agency. In Canada, we have Health Canada. Therapeutic Goods Administration, that is TGA in Australia. In China, we have CFDA, Chinese Food and Drug Administration. In India, we have CDSCO, that is Central Drug Standard Control Organization. So these are the different local regulatory authorities that we have for different countries, which regulate the medicines in their respective countries. Now, these are the major, you can say, steps, broadly categorized steps of end-to-end pharmacovigilance life cycle. One is individual case safety report, the first one. Then the second one, we have aggregate data analysis. Third one is signal detection. And the last step that we have is risk management plan. Individual case safety report means, guys, it is individual adverse event report of a single patient that is reported to the company, and the company will enter that adverse event report into the safety database. That is a software in which all the information will be entered. And this ICSR will act as the source of data in pharmacovigilance, the raw data basically. It will act as the raw data. So aggregate report, signal detection, risk management, all these steps will be done on the basis of ICSR data. So ICSR is the raw data, that is basically the adverse event reports which are collected from different sources and entered into the safety database. So those are ICSRs, individual case safety reports for individual patients. Then the next step that is done in pharmacovigilance is aggregate data analysis or aggregate reporting, you can say. Now it is a cumulative safety data for a medicinal product for a period, basically like 6 months, 3 months, 1 year. So if a report is prepared for 6 months for a drug, for a particular medicine, so the data, raw data will be taken from ICSR, from the safety database. And a summary statistical analytical report will be prepared for that drug for a particular period. That is called aggregate report or aggregate data analysis. The next step we have is signal detection. Now, signal detection refers to a process that aims to find any indication of an unexpected drug safety problem, which may be either new ADRs or change in the frequency of already associated ADRs. So signal basically, signal detection process is done to find out that specific event, what is the frequency of that event with that drug reported? Means how many times that event is reported on that drug. And then further statistical analysis will be done to confirm whether that event will be acting as a signal for that drug. So where the data will be taken from? Data will be taken from the ICSR. So the ICSR data will act as the raw data in the signal detection also, in the aggregate reports also. And at last, risk management plan is all the risks will be identified associated with the drug, and the plan will be made to mitigate or to prevent those risks which are associated with that medicine. So that is risk management plan. And all these four, you can say, processes are there in the pharmacovigilance end-to-end process. And you will be trained on each one of them during our course in pharmacovigilance. ICSR, you will be trained in detail. You will be trained on the safety database also. We have our own safety database, that is Safety Easy. And also you will be provided with the access of that safety database so that you can work on it by yourself. That is called hands-on training that you will get. And you will be provided with the individual case safety reports to enter into that safety database. Then we will talk about the aggregate and signals and risk management also in our course. Okay. Then the adverse events that we have that are reported to the company are of two types: non-serious and serious. Serious adverse event and non-serious adverse event. Now those that depends on these 6 criteria. Basically, if any event is falling under any of the criteria, any of the 6 criteria, that event is known as serious, and all other events will be non-serious. The criteria is results in death. If that adverse event resulted in the death of the patient, if that adverse event is life-threatening, if that adverse event requires hospitalization or prolongation of hospitalization, and results in persistent disability or significant disability, or congenital anomaly or birth defect. And last one is any other important medical event. That basically means important medical event means currently that event is not falling under these 5 criteria. These 5 criteria. Okay. But if that event is not treated or not taken care immediately, it may fall into any of these 5 criteria. It may reach to any of these 5 criteria. So that's on your medical judgment. That's why we hire HCPs in pharmacovigilance. Now that was about some basics about the pharmacovigilance. Now we have a question here. You might get this question in your mind also, that is pharmacovigilance the right option for you? Why you will choose pharmacovigilance as your career? So you know that pharmacovigilance is this, objective is this, and definition is this, the different processes that we have, everything we studied in the previous slide. But why you will choose it as your career? So first of all, it's a global growth of pharmacovigilance market in the coming years. The global pharmacovigilance and drug safety package market is anticipated to succeed in $262.02 million in 2027. In 2019, it was 151.07. So overall growth, the compound annual growth rate is 6.4%, and that is very high if you compare it with other industries in the market. Okay, so in the coming years, it is growing. So that's the main thing you can say, that you are entering into a growing field. It is not stagnant. If pharmacovigilance market is growing, ultimately that means you will be also growing as a professional, financially also, and also professionally, because there are different positions you have in pharmacovigilance. Like starting position you have like drug safety associate. In some companies it is called pharmacovigilance scientist. In some companies the position given is pharmacovigilance officer, drug safety scientist, like that. And then you will move to executive or associate position, that is senior drug safety associate. Then the team leader, assistant manager, manager, project manager, director, and all. So these are the different hierarchy, different positions that you will get in pharmacovigilance. So you will start with, like as a fresher, you will start with drug safety associate. In some companies, it is called pharmacovigilance scientist, pharmacovigilance officer. All are same thing. Different names are given to the same position. Okay, so professionally also you will grow, and financially also it is very stable and growing field in the coming year. There are different employment options, like pharmaceutical companies, all the MNCs and Indian the companies are hiring, will hire for pharmacovigilance, contract research organizations, regulatory authority, You can directly be hired by the regulatory authorities like EMA, FDA, PMDA, TGA, CDSCO. The clinical research organizations, pharmacovigilance units in medical college and hospitals can hire you. Then the KPOs like Accenture, Covance, Cognizant, Wipro, TCS, Aptar, etc. There are different, many KPOs who are taking the work of the pharmaceutical companies that's outsourcing. So they hire you. So there are multiple opportunities in pharmacovigilance. That's it, guys, from my side about the pharmacovigilance and different aspects of it. And as for the course, I think Dr. Vipra have already informed you about the different things that we do during our courses, like the uh, presentations, the mock interviews, group discussions, and all. So that is same for every course like CR, PV, CRCDM, Business Analytics. All courses we basically train on the material, the course, and also provide you certain aspects to excel in the field so that your overall development will be done. So thank you, everyone. Register, back to you.
Thank you, Kuldeep sir. We have a few questions on the Pharma Business Analytics program. So Dinesh sir, are you there?
Yeah. So,
Yeah. So there are few questions.
right. I read the question. So, Vinayak, so one of the people asking what actually we do in pharmaceutical business analytics. So I'll brief you. Like every pharmaceutical company has different verticals, right? Maybe marketing, sales, forecasting, competitive intelligence, like Salesforce analytics. So they have different verticals in US and Europe, and they have a very small teams like 2 3 associate directors and all. So they need help. All these verticals doing combinedly will take your product to a better revenue. It will help us to make the good strategies for your product, your brand, your market, everything. So every vertical has their own functions they have to do. Like competitive intelligence team has to always be updated with the competition, right? With respect to their product, who is coming today, right? Who are the competitors right now? Who are the competitors in pipeline, phase one, phase two, phase three? Who will come in future? So they have to be cognizant about that. So in like in competitive intelligence, we do a lot of pipeline analysis, like seeing that what is the future in 2025, who will be the players coming in this, when this product is going to be generic, when the ANDA will come. So lots of things like competitive intelligence we do. Similarly, every brand, either it is launched or it is in a preclinical phase or phase one, phase two, phase three, we have to spend money on the brand. Like if it's in a clinical phase, we have to spend a lot of money in the clinical phase. So every brand in pharmaceutical industry has their forecasted numbers. Forecasted numbers means like suppose how much I'll do in 2025 in terms of revenues, in terms of patients, in terms of units, how much I will selling. So for that, forecasting team has a function like they have to always be ready with their forecast numbers for their brands and their market, their molecules, everything. Similarly, like Salesforce analytics team, they have a big sales force. They are spending money through detailing. They are spending money through medical reps. They are spending money through different articles, and also their objective is that how can I optimize my sales force spending to get more and more revenue, so that I seems to be profitable. Like then there is a team in US like health economic and outcomes research. Its objective is to uh, give a fair pricing to its product so that it's get more and more market access. More and more market access means more and more doctors use that product and patients use that product. So that team's objective is to have a fair pricing. They work on lot of health, economic outcomes research, modeling, doing the Excel things. So these are the 4 5 verticals in a typical US and European and Indian pharmaceutical companies, which have their different objectives. So these objectives in US they have very small teams. Uh, so it cannot be fulfilled by their in-house team. So what they do, they outsource this work to consulting companies in India, like maybe Cognizant, Pharma, IMS, Decision Resource Group. So there are lots of companies in India who are supporting these companies in doing these types of analytics work. So this business analytics and consulting, if you ask me in one line, it's like solving a business problem of a pharmaceutical company. So we support from here in India. They have their own people also. So it's a huge opportunity to help pharmaceutical companies to use their data, whether in terms of clinical trial data, pipeline data, sales force data, promotional data. Now lots of patient level data is coming from US, even from Ayushman Bharat program in India, lots of patient level data is coming. So pharmaceutical companies will try to use these patient level data to see what is happening really in the market, who is being prescribed, right? Why the doctors are prescribing, why my drug is not into this program, why other drug is programmed. So overall objective, all these function is to take the product ahead. So a lot of work which they do, it's outsourced to India. So we as a consulting company help them to do all these analytics work. So in this analytics industry, two things are needed. First thing, domain knowledge, what you come with, like B.Pharm, M.Pharm, BDS, MBBS, Master of Science. Domain knowledge is very essential because this is a science industry. And second thing, you need to have a uh, very good skills on like PowerPoint, Excel. You need to have advanced Excel knowledge. You need to have a knowledge on Tableau, little bit on R, Python. So all these things, part domain plus analytics skill, will help you to make a career in these consulting companies or in the pharmaceutical companies. Right now, Indian pharmaceutical companies are not having too much of these departments, but multinational companies which are in India like Pfizer, Roche, you can see on the LinkedIn also like Roche, Pfizer and all, these have started putting openings on the business analytics side. So you become a business analyst and you work on a different aspect, maybe forecasting, competitive intelligence, Salesforce analytics, you play with the data, you model it, you give the insights, you present to the client. So that is the typical work done in this industry, which helps the senior people like associate director, directors in US, Europe to make help in strategy because they don't have time to work on this data PowerPoint presentation. So it's done from our side so that they can focus on strategies rather than the work, doing the work on the analytics side. So these are some basics verticals: forecasting, competitive intelligence, health economic outcome research, and all these things which helps pharmaceutical companies to grow. So typical skill set, as I told, good communication skill, domain knowledge, and some of the analytic skills, which will be taken care by Clinic Minds whenever you join that. So it's a bunch of uh, skills you need for that. So it's not a naive industry. It has been started in around 2005, and now it has been 15 years into that, and it is growing at a tremendous rate. Lots of companies are every day. You can see a lot of companies coming into space because more and more the healthcare industry evolves in the US and Europe. It will be running through the cost reduction because a lot of molecules are going to expire, pipeline is shrinking. So lot support they will need in terms of strategy analytics to help them to grow. So this is a little brief what is done in this industry. So anytime we can, yeah, any questions?
Think, yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Someone has question like I'm interested in business analytics. I have a 9 years of experience in QA and bio. So like people who have good amount of experience in this bioequivalence, maybe the analytics side, pharmacovigilance, economics and all, they always can move to the industry. The plus point with them is like when they come to this industry, they have the huge domain knowledge. What is happening into this pharmaceutical industry? That knowledge they have, and then they have domain knowledge of pharmacology, uh, everything they have. Only thing is that you lack the analytics skills. When you get into those skills acquired by uh, the different programs running, you will get into that. But it's like that whenever you enter this industry, you have to forget that you have 9 years of experience. You will enter as a consultant there. And consultant is a like two-level position over in that. But there you have to learn as a fresher. The only thing you have to keep out the mind is like you have a 9 years experience or 5 years experience. If you keep out of that mind, everything can be matched in this industry. Even pay scale will be given, appropriate pay scale will be given with respect to your 9 years experience. Everything will be done. Only thing is that you will be competing with the people who are coming from fresh from the different MBA colleges like IIMs, big MBA colleges, fresher MBA M.Pharm from BITS Pilani, fresher M.Pharm from NIPER, because the people who are going into the industry, we don't have literal permanent people in this industry. People who are finished, they already are there working for. We have short of people. That's why this industry is taking on people from different big colleges. But if I get suppose a person like who has a 5 years of experience and have a background on what is done in the business analytics and consulting course, definitely I'll want to hire him and make a consultant. But only thing you have to take out from your mind that you have a 9 years of experience, because you will compete, you will have a healthy competition with the freshers consultant there. So there will be a change, but of course the industry will welcome you because you have the domain knowledge into this space. Yeah, one is question like coding language, SAS and all. Yeah, you can learn these all things, SAS and all, but keep in mind your people's strength is always a domain. Technology you can learn and make your career a huge career, but never it will be always a 60% domain or 40% technology, 70% domain, 30% technology. That shift I will never suggest person who is from like science background to make a career making 70% technology and 30% domain. No, you will be a pharmaceutical consultant or any consultant for your domain strength only. Yeah, we teach like lot of analytic skills like Tableau, SPSS, SAS. It will help you to get into that. Right? So now some of the questions like is what will be the initial package for B pharmacy freshers in yeah, this is for pharmacovigilance department. Yeah, can answer.
Thank you, Dinesh sir.
Mhm.
I would like to invite our placement head, Mr. Rahul Malia. So he will be giving the insight on placements of clindamycins.
So good afternoon, everyone. I think I'm audible to everyone. Okay. I'll introduce myself. I'm Rahul Malia, and by qualification, I'm a law graduate from Delhi University and having a total experience of 30 years in various sales, marketing, of pharmaceutical, FMCG, healthcare, and from last 10 years, I'm associated with Clindamycins and looking after the placements of Clindamycin students. So today I'm having an opportunity to share what exactly the placement department of Clindamycins is doing for the students. So give me 1 minute, I'll share my screen. My screen is visible to everyone? Okay. So what placement department of Clindamycins is doing is we are training students for the successful interviews in various companies. We are working on verbal and written communication of students, and our focus is always to improve the interpersonal skills of students also. After doing all this, we are also organizing mock interviews and career counseling sessions for our students. So what pre-placement training is doing is it is helping the students so that they are acquiring the skills to give the interviews for the different profiles for clinical research, pharmacovigilance, clinical data management, for the interviews which are conducted by different recruiters. Our pre-placement training includes, it starts with resume writing. We help the students in writing CVs. We help students in preparing for aptitude test. We are also giving actual aptitude test to the students so that they can know exactly where they stand, and we are sharing the assessment of these aptitude tests also with the students. We are organizing fortnightly group discussions also for the students so that when they appear for the group discussions in the company, they feel confident. We are helping students to improve their typing and computer literacy also. Special sessions are organized to improve the interpersonal skills and communication skills, which is actually business English. We are working on the interview skills of the students. We are telling them whatever the questions are being asked in the interviews, what kind of answers they should give so that they successfully clear the interviews. We are also training students on email drafting and corporate etiquettes, and we organize mock interviews for our students. I'll come upon the opportunities and I'll stress upon last 1 year, 2020 was really challenging for all the industries. But luckily for clinical research and pharmacovigilance industry, this year was initially challenging for quite couple of months, maybe April or May. But after that, this pandemic has proved beneficial for our industry for two reasons. Number one, everywhere, anyone in India is now knowing about what clinical trials are. Because day one and day out after the pandemic was there, everyone was discussing when the vaccine is going to come out, what is happening with the clinical trials, what is a phase 1 clinical trial, phase 2 clinical trial, phase 3 clinical trial. Everyone was discussing regarding these clinical trials. So people who were not even knowing about clinical trials, now everyone is knowing about clinical trials. Number two, clinical trials not only for vaccines, for other drugs also, they are increasing in India. And please understand, when clinical trials increases, data increases, so clinical data management industry also grows. And when clinical research is growing, clinical data management is growing, naturally pharmacovigilance also is growing because of all this. So there is no dearth of opportunities in this clinical research, pharmacovigilance or clinical data management industry. And I can definitely say, even if I compare 2019 with 20, the opportunities have outgrown as compared to the last year, 2019. So these are the different, I've given the example, many companies are there like Icon, IQVIA, Cognizant, Icon, Sun Pharma, Accenture. And if I even take the last 15 days, our students, they have appeared for interviews in Cognizant, IQVIA, Wipro, JSS Clinical Research, and few of our students, they are waiting for the other interviews. So for us, this COVID period, pandemic period was really beneficial as our industry has outgrown as compared to last 2-3 years. Then I will tell you shortly about what exactly is the interview process. So interview normally, when your CV is shortlisted, starts with group discussion, online aptitude test, technical interview is there, then panel or managerial interview is there, HR interview is there, and if all these levels you are able to clear, then offer letter is given, an appointment letter is given on joining date. So all these are the process, and we try to train you in all these things. On group discussion, aptitude test, for technical and managerial interviews, we are organizing mock interviews. For HR interview itself, we are telling you what type of questions HR is asking. So for all these things, we are helping you. So these are the things we are doing, and normally the placement process starts when the course is about to complete. So that is the time we start preparing you with your CV, with aptitude tests, with technical mock interviews. Group discussion starts since starting only. So group discussion is a thing which gives you confidence. So every 15 days, one group discussion session is there where the topic is given and discussion is taking place between the students. So this is all what we are doing. So this is all from the placement department. So whatever the questions you are having, you can post your questions and we will be really happy to answer all your questions. So thank you so much. Wish you good luck. God bless you all.
So, thank you so much for my team who gave a very good presentations regarding all the career sectors and the placements and all. So, let's start with the question and answer, which is remaining the questions. So, I definitely put in the front of our expert panels who answers all your questions. So, first question is to be a Yeah, this is for Mr. Akash. What are the skills required for B.Pharm fresher to grab the pharmacovigilance job? So yes, Mr. Akash, the skills that is required to grab the pharmacovigilance job is to learn the pharmacovigilance first. What are the regulatory guidelines as per the European guidelines, as per the US FDA, how ICSR case processing to be conducted, and definitely the software is very important to learn the practical aspects because when you in front of software and go with the hands-on training on various database set, so it will be more getting the knowledge, and as per the knowledge you will be able to crack the interviews and the clean minds. We also definitely, as Mr. Rahul Malia sir told us about the placement opportunities, so we will give the placement opportunities and you will be get the good options in the pharmacovigilance. And the second question for Mr. Pritam Datta, which software use? So yes, Mr. Pritam, we have several softwares, AV Cube Safety, that we can share the access to our candidates for the 1 month free of cost. So they can, during the program, they can go with this hands-on training on ICSR case processing. So there is another question from Aditi. So basically, what work at initial stage comes under the pharmacovigilance sector? So I request to Kuldeep sir, please answer this question if you are there.
Yeah.
Sir, you can, yeah.
Okay. So what work at initial stage comes under pharmacovigilance sector? So initially, as already informed, the position that you get is drug safety associate and the pharmacovigilance officer and all. And the work that you will do is there are basically two types of work that you can do. One is the non-voice and other one is voice. So there are two types. Non-voice, in that you will be doing the data entry and the case processing of ICSR into safety database. Like we have Safety Easy, one of the safety database that we have. Some other safety databases that are there in the market are Argus, RSG, Udra Vigilance, and other safety databases are there. So the company that you join will have one safety database, and you will be doing the case processing of ICSR in that database. The other is voice process. That is basically you will be working in a drug safety call center and will be taking the calls from the healthcare professionals and the other customers to report the adverse events and document in the adverse event form and then submit it to the case processing team. So these are of two types, and What should I prepare to get job under it? So during our this course, we are providing you all the skill sets and all the training to get a job in the pharmacovigilance domain, and also not only get the job, work. You will be um, whatever you will learn during the course. If you apply that during your job, you will excel in job pretty well, and you will be you can say ahead of all other associates who will join with you the company.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Kuldeep sir. And the next question comes from Shraddha. So, yes, which skill required for MSc Clinical Research fresher to grab the pharmacovigilance job? So, Shraddha, basically, MSc Clinical Research, you should know that whether you have a knowledge about the pharmacovigilance, ICSR, case processing, ADR reporting, whether you learn during your MSc in the software hands-on training on for the pharmacovigilance, then you can apply for the pharmacovigilance jobs. Otherwise, you need to learn the skills at first for the pharmacovigilance for the software training for the ICSR aggregate signal detections and all. Then you can able to crack the interviews for the pharmacovigilance. So the initial package for CR for fresher after BSc Life Sciences and your CR course. This question was by Akansha. So yes, Miss Akansha, the initial package that already your placements are told about that is starting with 2.2 to 3 lakhs. It's an average salary, fresher salary. Its final salary would be decided by the company after giving of your interview as per your interview performance. But the industry fresher salary start with 2.2 to 3 lakhs. And there's a question from Miss Anuja. My question is for Dinesh sir. Is it beneficial for MSc chemistry student to go for the pharmaceutical business analytics? So yes, Miss Anuja, but sorry, Mr. Dinesh sir is not
Dinesh sir
available
is
right.
there.
Dinesh sir, are you there?
Yeah, so I'm there. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
as a questions to answering Anuja's question. So, yeah, MSc chemistry and all. Like I'm telling you that when we do a campus placement from like BITS Pilani and everywhere, we take people from even from NIT. We are taking from BSc chemistry and MSc chemistry. So, people anything coming from that background, even we are taking now started taking people having BTech degree in like biotechnology or chemicals from so this doing it's not like that you have to be M Pharm, B Pharm, BTS. If you have a little bit background like from chemicals or MSc chemical, BSc chemical, it will work. And with respect to salary again on this one of the courses, right? uh, the minimum salary, the bare minimum salary which starts in this industry is now like around 5 to 6 lakhs. So and it all depends what are the skills you are doing. And one more thing is in this industry is like the salary or the your hierarchy doesn't increase in a regular way. It can all, if you are a good performer, you will be within 1 year you can become a senior consultant. Within 1 and 2 years you can become a team lead. So this industry is not working on typical norms. It's a completely performance based industry. If your client stakeholders sitting in US and different pharmaceuticals are very happy with your work and everything, so you have a very like exponential kind of career into this industry.
Yeah. Thank you, Dinesh sir. There is a one more question for you as a by Mr. Nikhil Mishra. My
Mhm.
question is what are the tools are required to learn, and there is a course curriculum for the pharmaceutical business analytics. So Nikhil,
Right.
for the curriculum regarding, I will share the brochure after this demonstration, and what are the tools that we learn? There is
Right.
advanced SAS.
Right.
Hello.
So tools, if you say again, I'm saying heavy. This industry only have patient level data, which is very huge. For that, you will be needing like a little bit of these SQL and all. But regarding when you do a little bit of statistical analysis, it all depends what type of projects you are handling. If you are handling like clinical side of projects, like statistical you are doing, you may need SPSS and SAS, but majorly, and you need the Tableau, ClickSense for the visualization purposes of the Excel. But this industry needs a huge knowledge of advanced Excel, advanced MS Excel, which takes care 90% of the work in the industry, and 10% like artificial machine learning is taken by the latest tools and techniques which is in the market. And then our program focuses completely, gives major focus on learning you the advanced Excel, Tableau, everything in this includes, which helps you to be a full-fledged business analyst or consultant into this industry.
Thank you, Dinesh sir. And there is a question from Dr. Amit. So yes, Dr. Amit, we will share the complete course details with the fee structure to your mail ID or the contact number, wherever the mentioned during the registration. So we will share after this demonstration very shortly to all of you about the course detail, batch launches, about the new next upcoming batch launches for the pharmaceutical business analytics, for clinical research, pharmacovigilance. We will share the all details with all of you very shortly. And we will take the next question from Ms. Aditi also again. There is a starting salary of B pharmacist in the MNC for the pharmacovigilance sector. So Aditi, definitely the pharmacy, as if you are a B pharmacist as a fresher and all, so initially average salary in this industry with 2.5 to 3 lakhs. Its final salary would be decided by the company as per your interview performance. And next again question from Ms. Akansha. Sir, what are the skills required to fetch a job in clinical research and data management? So they thought by you in the CR course. Definitely, there is definitely whatever your qualification as a graduation or post graduation, that's not sufficient to take interviews for the clinical research and data management. You have to learn the skill set first by the program as advanced postgraduate diploma in clinical research and clinical data management. Then afterward, you can able to more confident to give the interviews to crack the skill technical interviews about the CR. Before getting knowledge about CR regulatory guidelines and the process, you are not able to crack the interviews. And there is a question from Mr. Johnson. I'm pursuing pharma management currently, so is it possible to do this course along with the same? Definitely, you can join this program because our program is completely a online Zoom classes program. It will be a weekend and as well as for full time. So as per your convenient, you can join either our weekend programs or the weekdays programs. And again, one more question from Miss Ankita. I am completed in MSc in molecular biology and genetics. Can I do the pharmacovigilance? Uh, See, Ankita, you have done MSc. Then I would suggest you the two programs for you apart from pharmacovigilance, because the pharmacovigilance, the companies mainly prefer the pharmacies, medical background students. But for you, very good opportunity in the pharmaceutical business analytics as well as in clinical research and clinical data management. So I can share with the both course details with you very shortly after this demonstration. You can go through that brochure. If you're looking more counseling, one-to-one counseling, you can call us to our counselors. They will help you to answer and resolve your query regarding which course you better. And the next question from Mr. Nikhil Mishra. This is again the same. With, what are the tools which is already discussed? There's a advanced Excel and Tableau. Lots of tools are there, and we will share the course curriculum with you after this demonstration. Everything is mentioned in a detailed. You can check with this brochure. There is a question from Dr. Amit. Sir, please be patient. We will share the complete details with the course fee structure as per the course modules and brochure, everything to your mail after this demonstration. And one more question come from Mr. Sheikh. I have completed B Farm. How should I get job in pharmacovigilance? So, Mr. Sheikh, as a B Farm, you are eligible candidate to apply for the pharmacovigilance job. But to crack the interviews, they crack the technical interviews about the ICSR case processing, pharmacovigilance processor, ADR report writing training. So that you need to learn the skill set first. So you can plan to join the pharmacovigilance program then we will provide the placement support in the similar sector. There is again question from Ms. Aditi. Do you have clinic minds have masters in pharmacovigilance course? Yes, there is a master's course. There is an advanced postgraduate diploma in pharmacovigilance. A person who already in the pharmacovigilance sector, they can do the next level program like aggregate report writing, signal detection, uh, PV audits and inspection. But for the entry level job requirement, there is an advanced postgraduate diploma in pharmacovigilance is sufficient. There is a one more question from Mr. Vishal. I done my B Farm and also did SAS course. I have difficult to get a job in CR. So again, I already told about this in the complete demonstration. We are getting awareness about this program, how it's very important to learn the skill set first. Before learning, without learning the skill set, no one company is showing interest to hire you, because it's very crucial industry. When this clinical research, there is a directly deal with the patient life. So clinical research jobs, data management job, pharmacovigilance job, pharmaceutical business analytics job, they are purely based on skill set. If you have a skill, you can grab the job. You as a B Farm, you can plan your to do the program like advanced postgraduate diploma in pharmacovigilance and clinical research. Then you can able to join the core industry like clinical research industry or the pharmacovigilance industry. We will share the course information with you also, so that you can check it and you can see. And if you want to more discussion, you can call our counselor to get the deep discussion about the program. And there is a one more question from Nidhi. Sir, I have completed my MSc in bioinformatics, which included clinical trials and pharmacovigilance as a subject. How can I get job in pharmacovigilance industry? So, Ms. Nidhi, I can say only that if you have as a subject is just not a sufficient, because only one chapter to learn the pharmacovigilance overview and clinical research overview, you can't able to crack the interview. You can try by yourself to apply for the interviews to the companies. So you can find out by yourself also. When you go for the interview, they ask very technically. They're not just asking about the what is clinical research, what is pharmacovigilance. You have to more professional. You have a learn skill set about this clinical research in detailed knowledge. Then you can able to get the job. Otherwise, you as a MSc in bioinformatics, then I would suggest you to go with the pharmaceutical business analytics domain. Try your career in that sector. It will be very fantastic for you. We will share the course information after this demonstration. There is a one more question from Ms. Shreya. I am a BSc chemistry fresher. Can I do this course? Of course, you can do this course. I will request to my counselors to send you the complete details to you also. You can check with the next upcoming dates for the batch commencement, so you can join our programs. There is a one more question from Ruta. How many hours will be engaged in weekend and the classroom course? So see, there is a one session approximate 2 hours. So if you join, let's suppose clinical research and pharmacovigilance, so there is a 4 hour session a day. If you join the weekdays, there is a 5 days regular live Zoom classes. If you join the weekend, there is a Saturday, Sunday live Zoom classes. There is a one more question coming from Ms. Poonam. Sir, I have completed MSc microbiology. How should I get a job in pharmacovigilance? So, Poonam, I will already inform you that as a pharmacovigilance industry, more prefer to B Farm students, M Farm students, and medical background students, because they have a basic knowledge about the pharmacology, pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetics, mechanism of action, so that we have a lack of in these knowledge in the MSc microbiology. You can make your career in clinical research sector, as in CROs, in site management, SMOs, and the IT companies for the clinical data management. So for you, we have a program that is advanced postgraduate diploma in clinical research and clinical data management. Afterward, you can get the job as a CTA, clinical trial associate, clinical research coordinator, in-house CRA, clinical data validation profiles. There is a lots of opportunities which is similar to the pharmacovigilance career growth path. Growth. All are the MNC jobs are there. His name is not mentioned. There is a question for sir. I complete my BSc in chemistry. If will take pharma certificate. I'm not getting your question, but as per your question, if you have a BSc student, you can do the program. There is advanced postgraduate diploma in clinical research and clinical data management and get the job in good industry. So there is a one more question from Mr. Pritam Datta. I am a final year student of B Farm. How should I get the job? The job only not as for the interview and apply for the company. Job is to be getting through the skill set. If you have a skill set of pharmacovigilance, you can get the job. If you don't have, go with the program, learn the skill set for the pharmacovigilance, learn software training, then we will provide the placement support to you. One more question for Ms. Shruti. I have completed my B Farm in pharmaceutical fresher. Can I do this course? Definitely, ma'am. You can do the program, and for you as a M Farm, you can make your career as an advanced postgraduate diploma in pharmaceutical business analytics. It will be a very fantastic career for you as you are postgraduate. If you are interested in only in pharmacovigilance, then you can go with advanced postgraduate diploma in clinical research and pharmacovigilance. And Cliniminds provide you the assured placements to all of the candidates who join the program with assured placement interviews. Uh, Mr. Johnson, I'm fully unaware about any of program of software. So will it be part of this course? Definitely, it's a part of course. And after this demonstration complete close, we will share the complete course information to your respective mail IDs, and you can go to our www.cliniminds.com page. You can find out the for lots of program information about the courses and all. And there is a helpline number is also there. You can contact to any one of them, and we will give you a one-to-one counseling of as per your query. What will be the timing? Timing, it's not as a fixed timing you decided, but definitely would be an evening classes is better for the pharmaceutical business analytics. So there is a 2 hours lectures would be coming on weekends only. So the there is a one more question from Dhanushiri. I'm pursuing my B Farm now. When to approach this course? This is a better time, best time to you can join this program if you are in final year. So you can join our weekend program for the 6 months. So in next 6 months you complete your B Farm, and the same time you also learn the skill set of clinical research and pharmacovigilance. So immediately you can available for the job interviews. So I would suggest you to go join weekend program, or you can contact our counselor through www.cliniminds.com, and we will provide you the complete details of the program. One more question from Mr. Lukesh. I have microbiology qualification. I want to know how I am eligible to get placed after completion of this course. See, you are a microbiology license graduate, so you will be able want to learn the skill set of clinical research, clinical data management. You will be able to get the job opportunities as a clinical research coordinators, clinical trial associate, clinical data validation profiles, ETM record specialist for the like CROs and SMOs. They require the life sciences graduates and postgraduates in that profile. Only condition is like they're looking for the skilled professionals who have a knowledge about basics of clinical research, how clinical trial is conducted, what are the role and responsibility of the research coordinator. And there is a one more question from Mr. Nikhil Mishra. I am experienced 5 years as a medical rep and 3+ years in EHR clinical support. So what will be the best option going forward? Mr. Nikhil, I will suggest you only course that is advanced postgraduate diploma in pharmaceutical business analytics, and you can make your very fantastic career as a vertical upward section of this your sales idea, sales experience is very, very helpful to grab the job in pharmaceutical business and management profiles. We will share the course information to you after this conversation. One more question. There is from Ryan. I just graduate B Farm. I have difficulty in choosing which pharma sector to join. So, as a B Farm, after completion of B Farm, there is a 3-4 basic career sector where you can see, that is a QA job, production job, sales job. Apart from this, if you want to work in the multinational companies, the global companies, IT companies, big, who working for the pharmacovigilance, which is also a part of your pharmacy. So pharmacovigilance clinical research is the best career sector for the long term. If you're looking for the long term career sector, I would suggest you the clinical research and the pharmacovigilance as a long term career sector. There is a one more question for Mr. Sheikh. Sir, which company can give job for fresher immediately in January month for pharmacovigilance? So there is a very fast track looking for the opportunity for the January month. It depend upon the vacancies reach out for the in January, and it depend upon your skill set. You are able to crack the interview for the pharmacovigilance and definitely get the job. So I think I covered almost all the questions from the candidate parts. If anyone more have any doubt and query, you can visit our website, and you can call to our helpline number. You can go with the official our website. WhatsApp number also is available on website. You can go through that. If anyone have a more inquiry, please speak up. So thank you so much for all to connect and give a potential time. I'm hand over to this demonstration conversation further for Mr. Vinayak Shahani. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajat sir. Yes.
There is a one more question coming from Mr. Sheikh Tahil. Sir, which is the best either pharmacovigilance or medical coding? Sir, it's very clear that both industries very, very different. There is nothing relation with the medical coding and pharmacovigilance. Medical coding is just a concept for the European companies for the insurance part. So there is a medical transcription, medical coding. It's a very regular job for the IT KPOs. But in the KPOs, they also hire the BSc candidates, they also hire the MSc candidates, B Farms also. But in the pharmacovigilance is a pure process for the ADR ICSR case processing, which is completely with the healthcare industry part. You will be hired as a drug safety associate, pharmacovigilance officer in that one. One more question come from Mr. Akash. Does CR experience help to get job in pharmacovigilance? It depends upon your background as a qualification, basic qualification. If you are a M Farm or B Farm, then definitely you can learn the pharmacovigilance and get the job options in the pharmacovigilance. But as a B Farm, so definitely I will suggest to go with the only pharmacovigilance program, advanced postgraduate diploma in pharmacovigilance, in which you will be get the hands-on training on software for the ICSR case processing, ADR reportings. Then definitely we will can help you to get job in pharmacovigilance sector. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Vinayak, you can continue.
So, thank you everyone for attending this live demo session and the career opportunities webinar. So I'll quickly tell you about the program, which is tell you about the clinical research pharmacovigilance and data management program. The program is advanced postgraduate diploma in clinical research, pharmacovigilance, clinical data management. So this is a Government of India approved program from the Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council, which comes under the Ministry of Skill Development. So for both the programs, even for the Pharma Business Analytics program and the Clinical Research Pharmacovigilance Data Management program, you get the certification from the Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council, which is the Government of India body. One certification you get from Cliniminds, which will be advanced PG diploma in clinical research pharmacovigilance or clinical research clinical data management, which we would be guiding you once you connect with us. So, and that diploma is approved, accredited by US from the Accreditation Council for Clinical Research Education. Few benefits of Cliniminds programs. You get the hands-on training on the pharmacovigilance on the drug safety softwares. So the drug safety database. So you get the hands-on training on those softwares. You can see below there are technology partners, ABCube, which is a European software. So you get hands-on training on this safety database. We also give you 1 month access of the safety database. So you are able to practice those softwares. In clinical data management, we give you the hands-on training on the ClinSoft software. You get the access of the software, so you are able to practice those softwares. Complete access to the course content is given on the learning management system, which will have the recordings of the session, presentations, ebooks, everything. Then towards the completion of the program, our placement process will start. So I'll read if there are any more questions. Yes, Preetham, we will be sharing the course details with you. And if you have then any queries, you can take the screenshot of this slide and contact us via mail, WhatsApp, call, anything. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.